Hello, this is another tutorial, this time on screen capture and a screen capture tool. Now this is an update to a tutorial I did in about 2015 on Screencastify. And it's similar to Screencast-O-Matic. I'm actually using Screencast-O-Matic to record this tutorial, but there's a reason why I like to show this one. There's a couple of things that this one can do that Screencast-O-Matic can't do or can't do as well. So again, it's called Screencastify. It's a Chrome extension that allows you to share your screen in your browser. Now, Google has a tendency, if you use a lot of Google apps or extensions, of making changes periodically, sometime without a big fanfare of announcing some of these changes. So periodically, I like to redo some Google apps once they get a few years old, because sometimes there's some additional features that have been added, sometimes there's features that go away, a lot of different things that could be a bit different. And some things I think most people can figure out, but oftentimes I feel that there's some value of doing another one. So again, it's called Screencastify. So you can go to the Chrome web store to actually get this extension, because it is a Chrome extension. And all you have to do in this particular box is type in Screencastify. We're looking for the extension. So it's going to pop right up here. And over here to the right, it says Add to Chrome with this button. And you'll notice that once we click on that, it's going to ask us to add this Screencastify screen video recorder extension, of which we'll do that. And so it's going to check, and now it says it has been added. So notice this icon. This is always important when you're looking at all of your extensions that are going to be listed here. If you know you have something loaded but maybe you can't see it, just click the edge here of this little URL bar. You'll notice how if you hover your mouse in a particular spot, so you can kind of drag this, you might have it all the way over here and you might not have that visible. So if you pull it out as far as you can to the left, you'll get whatever icons you have loaded for your extension. So in this case, Screencastify, the icon is this film strip here. And so that's how we would launch it, by clicking on that. So before we actually do that, let's kind of talk about its usage. So as I like to do, tutorials can be used by both teachers and students. And so in this case, I'm going to talk about it from that perspective. Teachers can use it for demos. They can use it for tutoring. They can use it to provide updates to things that maybe require them showing something rather than just talking about it. They can provide feedback, or maybe even a weekly introduction, like a mini lecturette. I use a video for a little 2 to 4 minute intro to what we have going on in the next week, and I post that into the discussion board so that students can get a preview of what we have going on. Now, students can use it obviously for presentations. Again, this is a screen capture tool. So if, for example, you wanted them to provide, let's say, a set of visuals, maybe it's PowerPoints or Prezi or something like that, and you wanted them to narrate right over the top of it, this is a tool that would allow them to do that. They can share things, work collaboratively. This is a Google extension, which means it's very nice to actually use it with other Google apps for some collaborative work. So you could actually record your specific work on, let's say, a Google Doc or something like that, and it works real well. And you can also, students can also use it just to demonstrate some understanding, to show what they actually know if it's some situation where they can't actually do it in person. So let's go ahead and get started here. So when you click on this to start it the first time, you're going to get choices of where you can store the recordings. Now, the default choice, which is fine, is to store it in Google Drive. Google Drive has an unlimited amount of storage, which is nice compared to locally on this device, which means it's only going to be stored there. And as you can see, it's not recommended, blah, 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 especially because one of the great uses for this tool compared to a lot of the other screen capture tools is it works great on a Chromebook, which if you have a Chromebook, you know you can't store anything on a Chromebook. Everything has to be stored in the cloud. So Google Drive is the preferred place to put this. There will be a Screencastify folder of your screen capture recordings that will automatically be made once we click next with this Google Drive selection, and that's where all of your recordings will go. So that's going to be an automatic place to place them, but I will show you when we go through the process of making a recording. I do also like to, or my preferred place to put them is into my YouTube account, because it gives me some options. So if you've seen any of my tutorials on YouTube and things that you can do with YouTube as far as storing and using content, you'll see why that is, or you'll understand why I like that method. So I'm going to go ahead and say next, and then I'm going to sign in. And so you're going to use your Baker College credentials to sign in. Now, one of the things that I share when I'm talking Google and YouTube, and I'll share it again here just in case this is the first tutorial you've ever watched, is Google owns YouTube. So things that you have in Google are really easy to get into YouTube, and the same credentials of how you get into your Google accounts will allow you to get into your YouTube account. So if you have a personal Gmail account and a Baker College Gmail account, you also have two YouTube accounts, a personal YouTube account and a Baker College YouTube account. So I have a couple of recordings here. When you first open your screen, if you've never used Screencastify, either the old version a few years back or now, if you have any recordings, they'll actually be in here. And if you needed to do anything with them or get access to them or wanted to watch them again, you just click on them and they'd launch and everything be good. But if you are new and making your first recording, you will not have anything here. So if I go back and I click on my film strip icon right here to actually launch it, you'll see that I actually get some choices of what I want to capture. I can capture a tab. So that would be a particular tab that I have located up here. I can capture the entire desktop. Well, that's something you might want to consider doing. However, I'm using a portion of my desktop. I'm on a large iMac and I have all kinds of clutter on my desktop off to the right side here that I have screened from your view. So that might not be something I may want you to see. Or I can actually share a webcam, which I'm not going to do here. So let's just talk about sharing a tab. So I'm going to identify at some point, once you do this one time, as I said in my previous video about Screencastify, you won't have to do this every time on that particular machine. Tab audio. So this would play the audio on that particular tab. So let's say I go launch a website that has a video and I want to play that video and I want to capture that audio. That's what that's all about. If I leave this off, any audio on anything that I tried to play, it would not take. So you have to kind of think that through. If you don't know what you're going to do, it doesn't hurt to turn that on. And then you can embed the video if you want. At this particular point, I'm not going to do that. Now notice we're using Screencastify Lite. That is the free version. There is a premium version that's available for an upgrade. Again, I don't recommend doing that. So at this point, we're just going to deal with recording a tab. And so set up tab recording, and so this is going to require permissions, just like any app or extension that you add in the Google universe. You have to allow it to make connections with certain parts of your equipment. So we've done that, and we now have that kind of set to go. So it tells you the mouse cursor and drawing tools are going to be a little bit limited. And so we'll go to town and we'll record a tab. Now, once I hit record tab, you're going to see that it counts down for me 3, 2, and 1, and then it's going to start recording my particular tab. So I'm going to click the record tab, and then I'm going to go in and grab the tab that I want to record. Record tab. And it audibly said the 3, 2, 1 in my particular microphone. I'm wearing a headset right now. And so we're capturing the screen. This is CNBC. So anything that I would like to do, I have that ability to go in and click on any particular link, and it'll open that link. And then because this is the tab that I'm working on, I am now capturing that environment. If at any point, well, it sounds like we had a little audio on that little video there. Yep, there we go. So at any particular point, if I've captured whatever I need, once I'm done, now I can do different things on this tab. I can go back to previous screens and so forth and do other things with tabs, or in this particular tab, if that's what I feel like doing. But whenever I'm to the point where I'm done actually doing the recording of whatever it is that I'm showing, again, notice how our little piece of film strip is still up here in the corner. It's the Screencastify recorder, but notice how I have this red dot here. This means that it's live, it's recording everything I'm saying, it's recording all of my mouse movements and all that type of thing. Okay? So wherever my mouse goes, it's following. So if I'm done, I click on this, and I can pause if I decided that I wanted to maybe go to a different tab, and maybe I want to get some document that we're going to work on together. So here's a document, and I want to add some material to this, so I can just go ahead and do what I want to do. Right? It's a live document, and it'll get recorded. So at that particular point, I can go back here. It's kind of hard to tell, but there's like the pause symbol is now in here rather than a solid red dot. So if I click on that, I can say resume. And notice that I am continually recording, and you can see the green here so that my microphone is picking up what I need to do. And I add to it whatever I need to add, and now all of a sudden I am done with my recording. So I'm going to say end recording. Okay. Okay, so you can't hear this because I've turned it off, but normally what happens is it would start playing back immediately just so you can do a preview down here along the bottom here. See if I can, there you go, move this up a little bit. This would be what it started playing right away, and I just turned it off. You can go ahead and listen to it just to make sure it's exactly what you need and no issues there. Okay. Your ability to save it, give it a name if that's what you want to do in a download. Again, don't know that I would really do that. You can also click the download here. But remember, it's been uploaded to Google Drive. It's actually stored in Drive. You can see that right here. So remember, I said that it creates that folder for you for all your screen captures, and this is going to go right in there. I do think it's important to give it a name here. Otherwise, that's going to be the name. Okay. And so now it's changed that, and that way if you end up with a bunch of things in there, or if it's mini lectures, or it's related to a particular class, you go ahead and have it with a particular unique name that you're going to be able to find it later. So just some other information, some details, when it was recorded, the length of the recording, size of the file, and all that kind of thing. So how do we talk about getting it to other people or other places? Well, again, Google Drive. It's stored in the drive, which gives you options there. But like anything in Google, it does give you a copy link. So I can click on this copy link here, and it enables a sharing link here. Screen link has been copied. Paste it with a Command V or a Control V if you're on a Windows machine. So although there's some value to doing that, I prefer another option, which is to share it to my YouTube account. Okay, so normally the default is going to sit here. Here's that shareable link that we were just talking about. You can copy it. You can identify various privacy settings as you so desire. Okay, and then Google Drive again is the default. I actually like sharing it to YouTube, and then I have to pick my particular account, my YouTube account, and then now I can upload it. Okay, and then it's going to be in YouTube. I try to put most of my recordings, regardless of how I do it, whether I'm using Screencastify, Screencast-O-Matic, or any of the other tools that I use to do various types of recordings, I like to put them in YouTube because it gives me a lot of options for things that are very, very helpful to me. That's actually something that you'll have to decide. So I hope this update was helpful. The user interface is a little bit different. You could actually watch both the old 2015 tutorial and this one kind of back to back, and maybe you'll get a bunch of information for things that you can use this particular tool for. Again, this is a Chrome extension. It's called Screencastify, and it's a free Chrome extension, which means Chrome boxes and Chromebooks, PCs, Macs, all of them that have the Chrome browser can do screen capture recordings and upload to Google Drive automatically and to YouTube for future sharing. Thanks.